Hello warriors and welcome back again to Battle Art Studios. I hope everyone are doing great so far, and whatever project that you are working on, I hope is going according to plan. If all of you are excited as well as I am for this episode, then let's begin. Alright warriors, so as you all know, I decided to participate on Golden Demon for next year. However, I'm still lacking on some skills and techniques that I need to be able to create an entry of the level of Golden Demon. And this video, actually, I'm gonna show you some of the progress that I've done towards that goal. And I forgot actually to tell you guys this on my last episode. But a while back, I was actually complaining a lot because I really actually wanted to get an airbrush and start practicing a little bit more of my skills on that aspect. And of course, my beautiful wife had to hear me list all my complaints and everything. So thanks again to my beautiful wife, she actually surprised me and she ordered an airbrush set for me. As you see, it came with an air pump right here and some airbrushes too, as you guys can see right here. All right, and it is actually pretty cool. I really like it, I really enjoy it, and yes, it might not be the most expensive set out there and everything, but it's actually perfect for me because it allowed me to already start working and practicing a little bit on my airbrushing skills, which is very important. Now, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a little bit of a controversial subject for some of you, because I know some people said that the only way to make a masterpiece or something like that is by mastering the airbrush. And on that part, yes, there is some true, and there are some artists out there that they can do some impressive work just with the airbrush itself. However, they are people who've been practicing this for years or even decades at this point, so they've been mastering those skills compared with someone who is just starting this hobby. And most of the times, if they don't meet that high professional criteria, they get very frustrated and they stop enjoying this hobby all along, and they pretty much stop all of it, no, which is something sad about it. Oh, sorry guys. So yes, that's one thing. However, while I was actually working and practicing a little bit with my airbrushes, it was a little bit of weird experience because the use of an airbrush is not natural. No, having something like this and hold it right there and not be able to feel like, let's put it this way. So I have right here Robote, as you guys can see it, and pretty much trying to paint some of these areas, it feels unnatural, no? So that's a skill that you have to start learning. That's why I'm also recommending something cheap like this one, now, because it allows you actually to make all the mistakes that you are gonna be making, mistakes that I'm also making as well. Compared with, like, if you buy an expensive airbrush and then you end up breaking it and stuff like that. Also, one thing, you are gonna have to relearn how to use your paints with an airbrush, because if you thin down your paints too much on the airbrush, it's gonna look almost translucent and really it's not gonna give you the tone of the color that you actually want. On the other hand, if the mix is not well enough, it's gonna clog your airbrush, and that's something actually that happened to me already a couple times, and I had to actually take it apart, clean it and everything. So it is a little bit of an effort right there, no? And that's something also that I'm learning too. Now, as you guys can see right here, I'm using a piece of cardboard right there. And the only thing that I'm trying to do right there is just to see how the airbrush is actually working. Nothing more than that, just to see how it paints, how I'm using the paints also, how much I'm thinning down the paints as well. So little things like that. No, it's really nothing out of the ordinary. Oh yeah, also another thing. So here I have a 3D printer, a filament 3D printer, and a while back actually we bought some STL files from Etsy, and they were very cheap. Some of the figures that I have, really they don't have a very high resolution like Games Workshop minifigures. No, that they can actually have some very, very small in-depth details on the figure itself. No, these ones they are not that high resolution, and at the same time you get what you pay for. However, they are actually very well for practicing, which is what I have here. As you can see, I have this tiny little dragon. There you go. I have it right here as well. And I was pretty much just practicing right there. I was just putting some paint all over it, seeing how the shades actually work, putting maybe like different like light and other contrast shades on them. I was just practicing right there. That's literally all. Now, one thing also that I learned is when you are mixing the paint in your airbrush, one good thing that you can do is actually using maybe like a sponge or like a piece of cloth and actually release some of the air inside the airbrush to mix the paint. That is one thing that I didn't do at the beginning, and to be honest, it is a good advice because it mixes very well the paint. And after I did that, the paint that came out of the airbrush, it had a smooth end, so I guess I got a little lucky that my airbrush didn't clog or something worse. So that's another thing that you can keep in mind. Another thing, you can actually use it for priming, which is something that many people will agree. You can have more control. You can have literally more control of priming with an airbrush than with a can of spray paint. And at the same time, you don't have to use as much primer as a can of spray paint. However, for this part, I really don't have a primer for airbrushes. I have to, yes, of course, I have to purchase some of it. However, I actually use the airbrush to just practice some layers on it, paint and everything. And again, like I said before, all this is just practice right there. There is absolutely nothing right here that I'm trying to show you how to do a certain technique or anything like that, because I am also new to this type of techniques, using the airbrush and stuff like that. And also, this is one thing that I have to learn in order for me to be able to create a golden demon entry, which is why I'm started practicing all this. Now, for this video, I practice on two figures that I have here, and I use my 3D printer to print them off. Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher, and Lilith from Diablo 4, in case I have fans of Diablo 4 right here. And as you can see, I am just practicing some light to shadow ratios right there. I have these two right here, as you can see, and that's all I've been practicing. I just use some basic techniques to highlight the light side of the figure as well as the shadow part of the figure, and after that I just use normal brushes for the rest of everything. I wasn't even trying to get anything high definition, high details on it, just simple practice right there, and that's all it is. The same thing with Lilith right here. However, I actually had more fun painting Lilith than Geralt, because she has all these areas right here where I could highlight all the red glowing, like that infernal glowing right there, and at the same time I finish everything else with a brush. All these right here that you see is just simple techniques that I started learning. Again, I am not trying to teach anybody how to do something or stuff like that. This is just my practice. Alright, so as you can see, this is the end result of them. You can still see the printing layers on the figures, also as you can see right here. They're not the most high definition figures out there, like I said before. However, they are excellent for practice. They have big areas right there where you can actually paint. You're gonna be making mistakes. The first time that you are practicing all these new techniques, you're gonna be making mistakes. It's like that. That's how we all learn. All right. And also at the same time, if I can give you any advice on airbrushing for the first time, I think I can sum into things. One, don't buy the most expensive airbrushes out there, because you're gonna make mistakes, as I said before. All right. You're gonna clog your airbrush on your first tries. You won't know how to work it very well, because let's be honest, it's a brand new tool and you need to get very used to it. So you really don't want to spend a lot of money on something that you might going to break it very easily. And some of the airbrushes out there, those $300, $400, $500, $600 airbrushes, they are really not the cheapest ones out there. No? So just keep that in mind. And second, once you start practicing, I suggest something of a medium to large size, like this one right here, like Lilith. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of open areas where you can actually practice, where you can just do different designs and all that, compared with this right here. So I know there are great artists out there that they can paint figures like this one just with their brush, and that's actually excellent. That's amazing for me. However, for someone who is just starting, something like this will be very frustrating. And again, that frustration is gonna end up you hating this hobby and pretty much leaving it all alone. So I suggest something medium to large size with a lot of open areas where you can paint. I am not suggesting Robute, because to be honest, he also has some very small details right there. However, I suggest something like, there we go, right here, my Dreadnought from my first episode, like I show you guys. And this one actually has a lot of open areas, areas where you can paint peacefully without making too many mistakes, and you can actually cover them up very easily. So a figure like this one will be great for anybody to start with. Or if you are interested on getting a STL file and start 3D printing, there you go. Figures like this one, you can purchase the STL files from many websites out there. Some of them are very cheap, some of them are more expensive, but it's also depending on the quality that you want to get. And pretty much that's all for the airbrushing that I've done so far. Also, yes, as I promised, I'm gonna show you a little bit of the progress that I've done towards my entries. So as you can see right here, it literally took me about 2 weeks to get all these figures ready. My Chaos Warrior, my Necrons, everything that I needed, because for a Golden Demon entry you need to make sure that those figures, they look like a character itself, not just two parts put together or glued together and that's it. So all those little edges where some pieces connect and everything, I have to smooth everything. Those little edges also where the mold gets put together and all that I had to remove and everything. So it took a little while and it was a very exhausting 2 weeks. However, I actually like the end result, and now I understand why winners of Golden Demon they expend 4, 5, 600 hours on their entries, and I mean with more reason they deserve actually to win in this type of competitions, because the effort that they put on them is unmatched. And I can see now why, now that I'm going through all these stages. And pretty much that's all I have done literally for the last 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. I'm still working on how I'm gonna do the design for the diorama and all that. Also, the Chaos Warrior, I want to build a plinth for that figure, so I need to think a little bit on what I'm gonna do. Besides that, that's pretty much all I have done. Again, there are many things out there, many techniques out there that I still have to learn, like non-metallic metallic. That's one big one that I have to learn, and I've already started practicing a little bit. So in the next episode I might post something on my progress on non-metallic metallic. If not, it's going to be the episode after that. However, this is all for today, warriors. I hope everyone enjoyed today's episode. I hope everyone had fun and laughed at my struggles right here. I truly enjoy all this. Even though it was a little bit difficult, it was frustrating for me to be able to learn how to use an airbrush. And even though I am not in any way an expert on the use of this right here, I actually enjoy it. The fact that I am learning this way is just fun for me. And it's a great experience. I'm pretty sure many people started this way. No one started knowing absolutely everything and being an expert on absolutely everything. And pretty much that's all for today. Again, thank you everyone already subscribing to my channel. If anybody wants to continue supporting my weird endeavors, my struggles and everything towards to the high road to Golden Demon, which is my goal, as you all know, just please click on the subscribe button or leave a comment in the comment section. If you have any suggestions or something, just leave them right there and I'll try to answer them as quickly as possible. Well, without anything else, I'll see you all next time. Alright, warriors? Peace!